right. So you're finally thinking about a new iPhone, right? Maybe the old one's giving up the ghost, or you just want that shiny new tech feel.
It happens to the best of us.
Totally. You start looking around and, okay, there's the iPhone 15. We know that one, the new iPhone 16. And then you see this iPhone 16.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Right. It kind of throws you, like, is it just the budget model, a stripped-down version? Or is Apple doing something sneakier, maybe actually good at a lower price?
It's a fantastic question, really.
Oh.
Because Apple's play here, well, it's not quite as simple as that might make you think. It suggests economy, sure, but the features, the performance we're seeing, that tells a much more interesting story, a compelling one, actually.
You're right that he just screams lesser, but the specs, they hint at something else. And that nuanced story is exactly what we need to unpack today. We're doing a deep dive into this iPhone 16. We're going to put it right up against the iPhone 15, the one it seems designed to, maybe undercut. And we'll touch on the standard 16 too, just to see where it fits in the whole lineup.
We've been digging through, well, everything. McRumors forums, YouTube battery tests, some really intense ones, tech reviews.
Yeah, all of it. And our mission really is to cut through that noise for you.
Exactly. Give you the clear picture, point out those aha moments,
And just give you the core info you need to make a smart choice without getting totally overwhelmed.
Think of it as your informed decision shortcut.
Okay, let's start with this new kid on the block, the iPhone 16. When did it actually show up?
Pretty recently, actually, February 19th, 2025. And Apple's framing it as their new affordable iPhone. Basically, it's taking over from the iPhone SE.
Ah, okay, so it replaces the SE and the price.
That's the kicker. It launched at $599.
$599. Okay, so compared to the 15.
And the 15, after the 16 came out, dropped to $699.
Yeah.
So the 16 comes in $100 cheaper right off the bat.
$100 difference.
And what's really fascinating is that for that lower price, it's not just, old parts in a new shell. Apple's actually packed in some surprisingly advanced stuff. It feels less like an SE throwback and more like a genuinely current, affordable option.
So not just reheating old tech.
Not at all. It feels like a shift, maybe. Apple offering some quite cutting-edge features, but at a price point that's, well, easier to swallow.
Okay, that sets the stage. Now, you mentioned digging into tests. What about the thing everyone always asks about? Battery life.
Yes, the eternal question.
Always. And the 16E has definitely generated some buzz here, right? But is it just hype, or is there real substance?
Well, we found a couple of user tests that give us, let's say, different angles on it, which is useful.
Okay, lame on me.
First up, someone called Greg and Tosh over on the MacRumors forums get a standby test. They took an iPhone 15 Pro, important note, it had 84% battery health.
Okay, so not brand new.
Right, and put it against a fresh iPhone 16, 100% health. Both running the same iOS beta, iOS 26 beta 4, same connections, just left idle for 8 hours, like 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Standard workday test, basically. What happened?
The results look pretty dramatic initially. The 15 Pro dropped down to 56%.
Oof.
Yeah, but the 16, it was still sitting at 89%.
Wow, that's a 33% difference. Huge.
Greg and Tosh called it a massive difference. Definitely felt the 16 was way better on standby.
I sense a butt coming. The forums probably jumped on this.
Oh, absolutely. The community raised some really valid points. First, the obvious one, the battery health difference. 84% versus 100%. It's not really a fair fight, is it?
No, not apples to apples at all. What else?
Well, they were both running a beta OS, iOS 26 beta 4. Beta software is notoriously unpredictable with battery. It's doing extra logging. It's not fully optimized.
Right, especially for different chips, maybe?
Exactly. The 15 Pro has the A17 Pro. The 16 has the newer A18. Beta software could hit those completely differently. Plus, the test was mostly on Wi-Fi.
Which doesn't really test Apple's fancy new modem they've been talking about, does it?
Precisely. That modem's efficiency is supposed to shine more on cellular. So Greg and Tosh did acknowledge the battery health issue, said they plan to redo the tests on public iOS, get the 15 Pro battery replaced, and also try Wi-Fi only versus cellular only.
Okay, so Greg and Tosh's test was interesting, a pointer maybe, but too many variables. What was the other test you found?
Right. For a clearer picture, we looked at a YouTube channel, Simply Pops. They did a really comprehensive drain test, like actively using the phones until they died.
Okay, this sounds more like real-world torture.
It really was. They lined up an iPhone SE 3, an iPhone 14, the 15, the standard 16, and the 16. And here's the key. All of them were at 100% battery health.
Ah, okay. Level playing field this time.
Exactly. And they ran them simultaneously. nonstop. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, recording video, playing Temple Run, scrolling X and Threads, YouTube music. The works. Phones got hot. Screens dimmed to proper endurance battle.
Okay, the results. Don't keep us in suspense.
All right. So the SE3 died first, obviously, around 5 hours. Expected.
Makes sense.
The iPhone 14 lasted quite a bit longer, about 8 hours, 21 minutes. It had 1% left then.
Okay, decent. And the 15?
The iPhone 15 died just after the 14, basically around the same 8 hours, 21-minute mark. It actually finished last among the 14 and 15 group.
Interesting. So the 14 beat the 15 slightly in this test. What about the 16s?
The standard iPhone 16 did well. It hit 10 hours and 14 minutes. Pretty solid.
10 hours. Good benchmark. Now, the moment of truth, the 16.
The iPhone 16 just kept going. It lasted an incredible 11 hours and 20 minutes.
Whoa. Over an hour longer than the standard 16?
Yep. Crowned the undisputed battery champ in this test. Simply Pops noted even after 10 hours, it was still chugging along.
11 hours 20. I mean, you could watch nearly a whole season of something on one charge. Makes my current phone's battery anxiety seem, well, quaint.
It's seriously impressive endurance, and it lines up perfectly with Apple's official claims, actually. They say the 16E has the best battery life ever on a 6.1-inch iPhone.
What are the official numbers they give?
They quote 26 hours of video playback for the 16 compared to 20 hours for the iPhone 15.
6 extra hours of video playback. That's a massive difference for, everyday use. Plane trips, long days out.
Absolutely. Simply Pop's test really cemented it. The 16's battery is the real deal.
Okay, so how? What's the magic inside? How did Apple pull this off, especially in the E model?
It seems to be a combination of two main things. First, a physically larger battery. The 16 packs a 4,005 mAh battery. Compare that to, say, the iPhone 15 Pro's 274 mAh battery. It's a big step up in capacity.
A bigger tank, basically.
Exactly. And second, and this is crucial, it features Apple's first in-house cellular modem, the Apple C1.
The one they've been working on for years.
That's the one. And it's specifically touted as being much more power efficient, especially when your phone is struggling for signal, which usually drains the battery faster.
So bigger tank and a more fuel-efficient engine. Makes sense.
Pretty much sums it up.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot just on battery. It really makes you think, doesn't it? How much we value just getting through the day without scrambling for a charger.
It's fundamental for most users.
Definitely. But, okay, beyond just lasting all day, what about the actual power? The brains of the operation, performance, AI. This is where the 16 gets really interesting compared to the 15, right?
Absolutely. This is a huge differentiator.
Yeah.
So the iPhone 15 runs on the A16 Bionic chip. Great chip, bits on a 4-nanometer process.
Still very capable.
Oh, for sure. But the iPhone 16, it jumps to the A18 chip, and that's built using TSMC's enhanced 3-nanometer process, the N3P node.
So smaller transistors, more efficient, more powerful, a generational leap.
Exactly. The benchmarks show it clearly. The A18 offers really significant gains over the A16. CPU-wise, the A18 is actually about 5% faster than the A17 Pro chip found in the 15 Pro models.
Which was already faster than the A16 in the regular 15.
Right. So it's a noticeable step up. We saw some Geekbench 6 scores.
Yeah.
The 16E with the A18 hit around 3,300 single-core and over 800 multi-core.
And the 15 with the A16?
The 15 scored about 2,500 single-core and just under 6,200 multi-core.
Okay, those aren't trivial differences. That's going to feel faster in day-to-day use.
Definitely. Apps launch quicker, multitasking feels smoother, demanding stuff like gaming or video editing gets a real boost. You'll feel that extra speed.
And it's not just the CPU, right? Graphics, too.
Yep. The A18's GPU, it's a 6-core design, though configured as 4 cores in the 16 spec we're seeing, is reportedly more than 30% faster than the A17 Pro's GPU.
30%. That's huge for gaming.
Huge. And on top of the raw power, the A18 chip is also more efficient. Apple claims about a 10% reduction in power draw compared to the A17.
Which loops back to that amazing battery life again.
It all connects. More power, less energy needed. Plus, there's another piece, RAM.
Ah, yes. Random access memory. More is generally better for multitasking.
Exactly. The iPhone 16 comes with 8 gigabytes of RAM.
And the 15 had
6 gigs. So that's a decent bump, too. And that extra RAM, combined with the powerful A18 chip, that's what enables the 60's biggest party trick.
Which is Apple Intelligence.
Bingo. This is probably the single biggest difference between the two phones. The iPhone 16e fully supports Apple Intelligence, the whole suite of AI features. The iPhone 15 does not.
Wow, so the older chip just can't handle it.
It seems so. It's likely down to the A18's much more powerful neural engine, the part of the chip dedicated to AI tasks and that extra RAM. Apple Intelligence relies heavily on on-device processing.
So if you choose the 16, what kind of AI stuff do you actually get?
You get a whole bunch of new capabilities.
Hmm.
Siri gets a major upgrade, smarter, understands context better, can even tap into ChatGPT for complex queries if needed.
Okay, a Siri that actually works well would be nice.
We can hope. Then there are new writing tools, summarizing text, rewriting emails or messages in different tones, like making something more formal or more casual.
Useful. What else?
Genmoji. You can create custom emojis just by describing them, like a T-Rex riding a skateboard wearing sunglasses.
Okay, that sounds fun and slightly ridiculous.
Totally. And then there's visual intelligence. Point your camera at something, shoes, a plant, a landmark, and get information about it. Or point it at a phone number written down and instantly call it.
That visual lookup stuff is actually pretty cool.
It is, and the long-term view here is important. Apple Intelligence isn't just a one-off feature drop. It's expected to grow, evolve, become deeply integrated across iOS.
So the 16E is kind of future-proofed for AI in a way the 15 isn't.
That's exactly the takeaway. If you care about staying current with Apple's software direction, especially AI, the 16E seems like the much safer bet for the next few years. You won't be left behind as these features expand.
Okay, quick question though. Do you think Apple could bring some lighter AI features to the 15 later, maybe through software updates, or is it really a hardware limit?
That's a great question. It's possible some very basic, less demanding AI tasks could maybe be optimized to run on the A16 via software updates down the line. Apple does support older devices well.
But the heavy lifting.
The core Apple Intelligence experience, the really complex stuff that relies on that beefed-up neural engine in the A18, that's almost certainly going to remain exclusive to the newer hardware like the 16 and up. It really seems foundational.
Makes sense. Hardware really dictates capability there. Okay, so performance and AI are huge wins for the 16, clearly. But we use our phones with our eyes and hands every day. What about the design, the display, the physical experience?
Right, the look and feel. Both phones have that nice 6.1-inch OLED display. Vibrant colors, deep blacks. The core screen quality is good on both.
But there's a difference at the top, right? The notch versus the island.
Exactly. The iPhone 15 features the dynamic island, that pill-shaped cutout that cleverly morphs to show alerts, music playback timers, Face ID confirmation, stuff like that.
It's pretty slick, I have to admit.
It is. It makes the front feel more modern, more interactive. The iPhone 16, however, goes back to the traditional notch, that black bar cutout we had for several generations.
So visually, the 16E might look a bit dated next to the 15.
From the front, potentially, yeah. It's a step back aesthetically for some. There's also a difference in brightness.
Oh, how so?
The iPhone 15's display can get brighter. It peaks at 1600 nits for HDR content, and crucially, 2000 nits peak for outdoor use.
2000. That's really bright. Good for sunny days.
Definitely makes it easier to see outside. The 16E is rated at 1200 nits peak for HDR and 800 nits typical brightness. Still perfectly usable indoors in most situations, but side by side in bright sun, the 15 will be more legible.
Okay, good distinction. What about buttons? Any changes there?
Yes. The iPhone 15 has the classic ring silent switch. Slide up, slide down. Simple.
Been around forever.
Right. The iPhone 16e swaps that out for the customizable action button, which came first on the 15 Pro models.
Ah, the action button, so you can set it to do different things.
Exactly. Flashlight, launch the camera, run a specific shortcut, toggle a focus mode. It adds a nice layer of personalization and quick access. Some people love it.
I can see the appeal. Okay, cameras. This is usually a big one. How do they stack up?
The iPhone 15 has a dual camera system, a 48-megapixel main camera, plus a 12-megapixel ultra-wide. That ultra-wide is great for landscapes, group shots, tight spaces.
And the 15 also does macro, right? Super close-ups.
Yep, macro photography is supported.
Yeah.
Plus cinematic mode for video with that shallow depth of field effect, up to 4K, Dolby Vision and action mode for really stable video when you're moving around.
Okay, seems like a versatile setup on the 15. What about the 16?
The 16 simplifies things. It has a single 48-megapixel main camera.
Just one lens. No ultra-wide.
No dedicated ultra-wide lens.
Yeah.
However, that 48MP sensor allows it to do a pretty decent 2x telephoto zoom using software cropping, similar to the main 15.
Okay, so you still get some zoom.
You do. And interestingly, some early comparisons we saw suggested that the 16's single camera might actually hold its own or even slightly outperform the standard iPhone 16 in certain conditions like low light or zoom, which is surprising.
Really? Better than the 16 sometimes, despite fewer lenses.
Potentially, yeah. Maybe down to sensor improvements or processing via the A18 chip. And it's a big, But the 16 lacks macro photography. It lacks cinematic mode. It lacks action mode.
So if you really value camera versatility, the extra lens, those specific video modes, the 15 still has the edge there.
Definitely a more flexible system on the 15 for photographers and videographers.
Got it. Now, something potentially controversial. MagSafe.
Yes, this is the big one. The iPhone 15 has full MagSafe support. Wireless charging snaps into place, compatible with all the wallets, stands, car mounts, that whole ecosystem.
Which is pretty convenient. A lot of people are invested in it now.
Oh.
And the 16.
The iPhone 16 does not have MagSafe.
Wait, seriously, no MagSafe at all?
Nope. Standard key wireless charging, yes. But no magnetic alignment, no faster MagSafe charging speeds, no compatibility with MagSafe accessories.
Wow, that feels like a major omission. That could genuinely be a deal breaker for someone with a bunch of MagSafe gear.
It absolutely could. If you rely on that magnetic snap for your car mount or bedside charger, the 16Es just won't work with them.
That's really puzzling. Why would Apple remove such a popular feature? Just cost-cutting to hit that $599 price.
That has to be the primary reason, yeah. The magnetic ring array inside the phone adds cost and complexity. Apple likely made a calculation. For this affordable tier, maybe enough users would prioritize the price, the chip, the battery over MagSafe.
A calculated risk? Maybe, but one that definitely impacts convenience and the ecosystem lock-in.
It does. It's a significant trade-off.
Okay, what about just colors, aesthetics?
The iPhone 15 had a nice range of fairly vivid options. Pink, yellow, blue, green, and black. More playful.
And the 16?
Much more limited and subdued. Only available in matte black and matte white.
So, basic choices there. Okay. One last practical point. You mentioned something about repairs.
Yes. A small but potentially important detail. The whole iPhone 16 lineup, including the 16, is reportedly designed to be easier to repair, especially for things like battery swaps.
Huh.
Possibly even enabling easier home repairs down the line.
Oh, interesting. Like less glue, easier access.
Something like that. It could mean lower repair costs or just keeping the phone going for longer more easily, which adds to the long-term value.
Okay, that's good to know. Right then. We've covered battery, performance, AI, design, cameras, MagSafe, the whole shebang. Let's bring it all together. The verdict. Crunch time. Where should you put your money?
Okay, let's break it down. First, the price. $599 for the iPhone 16, $699 for the iPhone 15. That's the $100 gap we're working with.
$100. So for $100 less with the 16E, what are the big wins again?
You're getting that much more powerful A18 chip. You're getting more RAM, 8 gigs versus 6. You're getting significantly better battery life. Remember, 11 hours 20 in that test, 26 hours video playback versus 20. Huge difference.
Plus the AI.
Crucially, yes,
Yeah.
full Apple Intelligence support, which the 15 lacks. You also get the customizable action button and potentially easier future repairs.
So better performance, much better battery, future-proof AI, action button for less money. That sounds pretty compelling.
It is. It really positions the 16 as a fantastic long-term investment, especially if you care about those core performance and future software aspects.
Okay, but flip side. For $100 more, what does the iPhone 15 offer that the 16E doesn't?
You gain the dynamic island, looks more modern, add some neat interactive elements. You get a significantly brighter display, especially helpful outdoors.
Camera?
You get the more versatile camera system, the dedicated ultra-wide lens, macro photography capability, cinematic mode, and action mode.
And the big one.
And MagSafe.
Yeah.
Full compatibility with the entire MagSafe ecosystem of chargers and accessories. Plus, you get more color options to choose from.
Right. So the decision really boils down to what you, the listener, prioritize most, doesn't it?
Absolutely. If Apple Intelligence is exciting to you, if you want the absolute best performance and battery life possible in this form factor, and you can live without MagSafe and the ultra-wide camera, the iPhone 16e offers incredible value for $599. It's a really smart buy. But if the dynamic island's look and feel matter to you, if you spend a lot of time outdoors and need that brighter screen, if you're already bought into MagSafe accessories, or if you really value having that ultra-wide lens and features like macro or cinematic mode, then spending the extra $100 for the iPhone 15 might still make sense for your specific needs. It's still a fantastic phone, just with different strengths.
What a fascinating comparison. This whole deep dive really shows the 16E isn't just a cheap afterthought. Despite the E's name and the lower price, it genuinely packs a punch where it counts processor, battery, AI.
It really does. It's a surprisingly strong contender that messes with the traditional buy last year's model to save money strategy because in some key ways, it's better than the phone. It's cheaper then.
Yeah, it makes the choice way more interesting than just picking the newest number or the cheapest option.
Ultimately, like we said, it comes down to your daily use. Are you betting on the future of AI and prioritizing raw power and endurance? That's the 16M. Or do you prefer the proven convenience of MagSafe, a brighter screen and a more versatile camera system right now? That can still be the 15.
Hopefully, breaking it down like this helps you figure out which camp you fall into.
Both are great phones, just tailored slightly differently. Now you've got the insights to pick the one that fits you best.
This whole thing, it really highlights how Apple's strategy might be shifting, doesn't it? Offering the cutting-edge AI, the latest chip thinking, in the lower-priced ease model this time around.
That's an interesting point.
Does this maybe signal that the E line is becoming the new entry point for Apple's biggest software innovations? Could it push the standard numbered iPhones like the regular 16 into a sort of mid-tier, feature-rich, sure, but maybe less, future forward on the software side?
That's a really provocative thought. What does that mean for the iPhone hierarchy going forward if the affordable model gets the smartest brain first?
Yeah, definitely something to chew on.